Well, good morning, everyone. It's Monday again. Oh my gosh. Some Monday mornings, it's really hard to get out of bed. I'm particularly this day because we just did our recovery summit, which I'm going to talk about in a little bit. I'm Dr. Laurie Davis coming into you from Alberta, Canada, and welcome to the Today Show here on the Disability Channel. Just right now to be joined by my boss. Oh, good morning.
Hi, Laurie.
Hi, Jay.
How are you?
I'm fine. I just realized that I perhaps had not sent you the link, and I went to my
No.
guest and said, "Oh my gosh, he's the boss! I forgot to send him the link."
No, I was just running behind as usual. No, thank you so much. So what time? It's 9 o'clock out in Alberta, eh?
Yes.
Have you been to sleep since the Edmonton Oilers? They're going to the Stanley
Oh,
Cup.
I know. My mom told me this morning. I called her, and she's in Nova Scotia, so she's like 3 hours ahead of me. And I called her and I said, "You sound a little tired." And she said, "Yes, I stayed up until 12:15 watching that Oilers game."
Yeah, congratulations. That's wonderful. I'm so happy for Edmonton and obviously the best
Yeah.
player in the league, Connor McDavid. What a goal that first goal was just. But hey, I'm a Leaf fan, so I don't have that much cheer for you guys. But congratulations to Edmonton Oilers. Are going to be in tough against Florida Panthers, so that's going to be exciting. Maybe bring the cup home for the first time in 30 years. I don't know. I guess Edmonton or Montreal. I think Montreal was the last Canadian team to win the cup in '93. So wow, that's a long time ago. So yeah, so that's kind of exciting. So let's move on now. I'm just sharing our link because I want to thank the viewers because we're really gaining some steam with our viewerships and great guests and great comeback and feedback and all that. I want to thank Your Home TV. So it's really exciting. We actually have a production meeting later today to sort of get a hold of this this momentum, this train that's going really fast. We're really excited about bringing on more of our graduates because they're all graduates in production. So it's a perfect fit. So yeah, tell our viewers who's today's guest is, and then I want to talk about your weekend at the summit.
Okay. Well, I have the most beautiful guest in the whole world, honestly. Her name is Sabine Becker. She lives near San Diego, California. And, on Mondays, Jay, our topic is self-care, empowerment, self-worth. And this is the woman to have on here today. And Sabine was one of those babies that was born whose moms took thalidomide to combat morning sickness.
Okay.
And I think there were, Sabine can correct me on this, but I think there were about 20,000 babies born in the 60s. And anyway, she's here, an accomplished author, speaker, coach, and she's had so many amazing things that she's done. And I can't wait to talk with her. And so the Disability Channel will really appreciate hearing from her, because if you want to see someone who overcame a severe disability, it would be this lady. So that's who we're talking to today.
That's very nice. Well, when she comes on, I'm going to introduce her to one of our staples, which would be Unstoppable Tracy. And I know they're going to hit it off. So this is great. This is what we're all about, right? We're all about showcasing wonderful people who overcome personal struggles, right? Everybody has something in their life. Everybody, right? And overcoming that is amazing accomplishment, and it should be shared and it should be promoted because other people are in the same boat or worse, right? Or worse off. And when they see somebody else do it, hopefully it inspires them a little bit, motivation. Maybe they want to reach out for support. We're all about support. So if you're watching right now and we have our guest coming up and you want to reach out to her and maybe ask her some questions, or you're going through something, a tough time right now, and maybe she can inspire or the channel can inspire. That's what we're all about. Talking about that, tell us about your weekend now, Laurie.
Oh my gosh. Our summit.
Yes.
Recovery and Performance Summit. This was my third one. I do one every quarter. Our next one is September 6th, 7th, and 8th. We had 18 speakers. We had amazing speakers. we had a veteran, we had my beautiful friend, Dr. Joan Wakeland from Menifee, California. She talked about getting and walking down the aisle at the age of 82. And I was at her wedding in the fall. We had a young man who lost his business and was crucified by his partners, and how he has risen up out of that. My gosh, just
tell me what you told me on when we were talking before the show, and you said, like, I asked you, so I started getting the stats, right, the analytics, and then you told me 3 things that either, I think, what the host does.
What do you mean the host does?
Remember you said that the host, they come on and they talk about how they are.
Okay.
Remember? Yeah. Tell our viewers that. I'm sorry, I don't want to butcher it because you're the pro.
No, that's okay. Well, we have sort of a formula, and I have 3 reasons I'm doing the summit. Here's the purpose. I want to introduce others to who we are and all that we do, including the shows, my workshops, everything. And then it gives novice speakers, people who haven't had the opportunity to speak, a platform to come in and share. And the third thing, of course, it's extremely healing and empowering when you hear other people's stories. So that's the purpose of the summit. So the first 15 minutes, they share their situation. So, this is the situation I was in. I was, a raging alcoholic, perhaps, or I just discovered I had cancer or whatever. The second 15 minutes, they share, how did you get out of that situation? Like, what are some things you've done? Did you go to counseling? Did you go to AA? Did you talk to a friend? What did you do? And then the last 15 minutes, they get to talk about life today. So they get to promote themselves. So if they have a book or a product or a program, they get to talk about that. And every speaker donates a gift. So around a $25 value gift. And so everybody that's in the room or has registered to attend is in for draws. And we only charge $25 a ticket, and a person can come for all 3 days, or they can come to hear just the speaker they want to hear. And that money goes to my speakers. So that's how I pay my speakers. They get paid. So if they sell 5 seats, they get to keep the money.
That's pretty innovative. I like that.
Thank you.
I like that. Speaking of gifts, I want to announce our first monthly winner. I don't know if you can see this here.
Oh, yes.
There we go. Oh, there we go. And the winner is John Reddens from Ottawa, actually. So, John, I know you're watching sometimes. I know you're a big supporter of the channel. Does wonderful things in Ottawa, so I can't even get my camera right here. But I think
there you go. There you go.
So, yeah, so he won the festival in Ottawa in the summertime for 3 days at a value of $600. We're going to be posting this picture on the website. And John, if you want to contact me, jay@thedisabilitychannel.ca or 647-339-6847, and we will send this off to you. We'll just email it to you, and you're the winner for 2 passes valued at $600, courtesy of the Veterans House charity. So courtesy of veterans. Look at that. Very nice. Wow. So again, John Reddens is a winner. It is 2 general admission festival passes to Chamberfest 224, valued at $600. So again, wow. Thanks, John. We'll send an email to you, and we should have another great prize at the end of this month, including our daily gift package, courtesy of the Disability Channel for our guests. So if you're a guest on our show, you will receive a signed autographed cover of a novel, a song, and a little show clip from TDZ Zen, just to share some positivity for your day. So let's get back to your summit. So how you said you had 18 guest speakers?
Yes.
Wow, that's and what and I know you said you had a veteran on it, and I remember we were talking off camera, you said they were from all walks of different life and all parts of the country, yes. Right? Yeah. So yeah. Through the USA and Canada.
All ages. My from very young to seniors and everything in between, all cultures, all backgrounds, because I'm very universal that way. I don't have any barriers when it comes to any cultures. And we had Dr. Chief, former Grand Chief Leonard Standing on the road. He spoke and he shared his recovery from alcohol. He's been clean and sober for 32 years. He shared his story of how he managed to do that. We had Virginia Clark. She's presently going through chemo and struggling with breast cancer, and she talked about that and how, as a former addict, being faced with something like that now, and you're clean, how it's very tempting to relapse, and that's usually when people relapse. Yeah, we had all kinds of great stuff. One of my gals in California, she came out of an abusive marriage after 18 years, grabbed her little girl and ran with their clothes on their back. I mean, just really good stuff.
This is great, Laurie. And I'm sure now, I know I think I posted one of your links on our Facebook page. So if people want to find out more information regarding your next summit,
yes,
they can just sort of email us here or tweet us here or Facebook is here or whatever, right? They're looking for information, right?
Absolutely. Or they can contact me. My number's up on the line there. I'll put a better number up. Sorry. I just put call the doc.
So why don't we do this? I like that. Why don't we call the doc? I like that. That's wonderful. Why don't we, before we go to break and introduce our guests, why don't I go through a couple updates for our viewership?
Sure. If that's okay. That'd be great.
So first of all, I knew this was going to happen. Like right away, our show, the Today Show here, seems to be getting pretty popular. And there's so much content that people want to come on the show now that I think we're going to be expanding and bringing back elements of our sports show and our car show and our music show and keeping the Today Show with Laurie and her wonderful guests and format. We have too much to talk about. So we're going to be expanding again. So I just want to let people know, but this week, tomorrow, we have a wonderful musician on from Special Agent Sunshine. So that's the band. That's the band's name. And we have the lead singer on tomorrow. So tune in. It's going to be a great interview courtesy of Big Records. And later in the week, see, here we go. Later in the week, we have another music guest, Jeff Jones. Now, Jeff Jones, you got to check this guy out. He's really popular, and he's a stud. He's played with the biggest names in the industry, including he's a member of Burton Cummings' backup band. So, cool. Yeah, it's going to be great. And then we're going to be implementing some car information. But I do want a quick couple updates. So we do have a confirmation. Our next 50-50 is going right now. So it started June 1st. Veteran House, all about showcasing veterans, all about showcasing the programs, opportunities, veterans helping veterans. So get your 50-50 tickets now. Draw at the end of the month. The last one was $2,700 almost. We do have our next fundraiser confirmed for October 12th. Again, showcasing veterans. Freedom Train is booked. It's going to be a packed house. There's so much going on, but why don't we take a quick break? And then why don't we come back with your guest, Laurie? And then what I'll do, I'm going to be posting some updates on our Facebook page as we go along.
Okay, perfect.
Okay.
Well, yes. So what I'm going to do is take a 30-second break, and you'll see snowflakes floating up in the air. But this is really a place where you can be featured on our show, either through advertising, a sponsorship. And so when we take a break, your stuff could be up there. So it kind of looks like this right now, but we're looking forward to having a sponsor very soon, probably by Wednesday. And so here we go. This is where you could be showcased and featured throughout the show while we're on the air. Well, welcome back and good morning, everybody. Jay, I'd like to introduce you to Sabine Becker. And Sabine, I'd like to introduce you to Jay. He's going to be here for a couple of more minutes, and then we can get into our conversation.
Hello, Jay. How are you doing?
Hi, Sabine. Thank you so much
Hello.
for
Hey.
appearing on the show today. Really appreciate it. Laurie was telling us all about you and your career and your history and everything about you. So we're really excited for being on the show today. Thank you so much.
Great to meet you. And it's always great to see Laurie anyway. So it's wonderful to be here on a Monday morning, starting out the week.
Yes, and it's only 8 a.m. in California, so like she had to get up
It is
really
8
early.
a.m. Like, oh.
And I don't know about you, Sabine, because I know you wear cosmetics, but did you ever realize that they just don't stick quite as well at 8 o'clock in the morning as they do at 12 noon?
Well, as a matter of fact, I do wear makeup, but not this morning. Too early. Sorry.
Okay, well,
I
you look like
normally do. I
doesn't
normally
matter.
do.
You don't need any.
So whereabouts in California are you, Sabine?
Close to San Diego. But
Nice.
as you can maybe hear, I'm not from here originally. I was born in Germany, and I immigrated with my United States in 1988, so a long time
Wow.
ago.
Almost the same. So you're all about Arnold because Arnold, he's all about
Oh no!
state of California. Well, I'm a big Arnold, muscle,
Are you?
bodybuilding and all that,
Well,
right? And the
he's
governor of
not my type.
California. Yeah.
No,
That's great.
but of course I know about Arnold, and I love his accent.
Oh yeah, it's a great accent. I love it too. It's amazing.
Yeah,
He's an icon, right? So and he's
oh
all
yeah,
about
he
California.
definitely is.
Ventura Beach and
Absolutely.
all there on the beach and back in the 70s.
Oh,
I remember from the 70s when he did all the muscle movies and
oh
all
yeah,
that
yeah.
competitions.
I
So
mean, even today he's still amazing, and he's not a spring chicken either.
no, he'd be about 80 years old now, I guess probably be around 80.
Yeah,
I think around 80,
yeah,
maybe not quite 80, but
probably.
yeah,
Hmm.
probably up there. So tell our viewers about yourself a little bit, Sabine, and then could I have a couple of minutes and I'm going to jump off and I'll let you two ladies continue. But yeah, tell our viewers
Okay,
about yourself.
okay.
Sure.
Well,
At the
as
beginning.
I started
At the beginning.
from the beginning, that's what I like. Anyway, so for those who don't know me, I'm Sabine Becker, and I was born in Germany. But in a way, unfortunately, my mother, when she was pregnant with me, she took the infamous drug thalidomide. And maybe some of you remember it, some of you might not remember that drug. Thalidomide was given to pregnant women, usually in Germany, but Great Britain and Australia, the United States. Fortunately, it wasn't here in the United States, the drug. Long story about that. But the drug was supposed to alleviate insomnia, anxiety, and especially morning sickness. So nobody knew at the time the drug wasn't tested sufficiently enough. And approximately, I think Laurie said that already earlier, approximately 20,000 babies were born with really never before seen disabilities. I happen to have very, very little arms, and I'm one of the lucky ones. Because some people were, not 20%, 60% of the thalidomide babies never saw their first birthday. So it was a really big tragedy. Yeah, it's a huge number, and it was a big tragedy. And
Can I ask a
I
question?
was, oh, go ahead. So I don't have to talk all the
So
time.
I just think I put up my hand. I don't want to interrupt, so I put up my hand. So now you said it affected your limbs. Did it just your arms? Now just your arms, not your legs, or just
Yeah.
your arms?
The picture is pretty small. You see, they look a little
Yeah,
bit different.
but your
And
legs, but not
yeah,
your legs at all.
no,
Not your
perfect. Yeah,
wow.
everything.
Okay.
And I don't have any health issues either, which a lot of babies did. And that's why so many of them died. And the number is 60%. So
Wow.
that's extremely high. And those who survived went on with their lives, some more successful than others. In my case, I think Laurie and I talked before about that. I had a really very strict parents, especially my mother. She's the typical German mother, very strong. So, but she said, you are going to do like everybody else. There's no exceptions for you. You are who you are. Just have to figure it out. And for probably 4 or 5 years, I don't remember that much, I went to physical and occupational therapy and learned how to use my feet for all daily tasks. So what
Wow.
you do with your hands, I do with my feet. And Laurie knows that because Laurie knows me quite for a long time now. But Jay, I'm even able to drive a non-modified car with my feet for over 40 years. No
Can you
accident, completely accident free.
could you do me a favor? Could you
Yes,
could you film that for us?
it is. It is on
I would
YouTube.
love to showcase that on our platform. I think that would be
Perfect. Yeah.
amazing if you could share the MP4 or the link, or I'll
Yeah,
showcase
I
that
will
on our.
send
I
it
think
to
that'd be
Laurie.
great. That would be great. That would be
I
so
will send it to
inspiring.
Laurie.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for
yeah.
sure. And
Very
Because
inspiring.
people need to see that.
that's
Because a
Yeah.
disability does not always mean limitation. It can mean limitation if you allow it to be a limitation. I never was defined by my disability, and I will not be limited by my disability. You work around it, and
You're gonna fit in.
I would send.
You're gonna fit in perfectly with our family.
that's right. She does
I think
already.
so too.
And that's why
Yeah,
I mentioned
I
the,
think
the
so too.
cosmetics, because she puts her makeup on with her feet. She gave us a
Yeah,
makeup lesson
with
one
my
day.
feet.
That's
Yeah,
so
yeah,
cool. That's
yeah.
so cool.
It's like,
You
oh,
guys, you
Shadow,
got to
but
share
not
that.
today,
No, no, no.
because
But
I still, but I still just a little tidbit here for you. And usually I love wearing makeup because I'm a real Barbie. But today after the show, I go running for 5 miles because
wow.
I'm a runner. I did one marathon and 2 half marathons. I'm working again on a half marathon very soon to come. So I'm running, so I didn't want to put any makeup on,
That's great.
but I use my left feet. But Jay, there's so much more to my story of overcoming. I overcame the obvious, my little arms, but I know you need to go. But just so uh, you know, that in 2012, I was driving my car in New Mexico. I used to live in New Mexico at the time, and I had out of nowhere a massive stroke
Ooh.
while I was driving my car. Yeah. And I'm always saying there's never, never, never a good place to have a stroke ever. But driving your own car, that is definitely one of the worst places. But I survived through a miracle,
Wow.
a true miracle. But I could not walk. I could not speak. I could not do anything for myself. My left foot, which is my dominant foot,
Yeah.
looked like a frozen claw. I couldn't move it. And for 1 year of physical and occupational therapy and speech therapy, I had to learn how to walk again, how to do everything for myself, and especially speak again. And
Wow.
one of my goals during that therapy was I was going to run one day a marathon. That was, they ask you in physical therapy, what's your goal? What's your goal? And I said, well, running a marathon in Los Angeles. So,
That's great. Wow.
I couldn't even do one step, right? But I was so obsessed by it. And I think that gave me the motivation to learn how to walk again. And 7 years after the stroke, I did the LA marathon. So that's about overcoming. And I do believe the show is about overcoming.
That's right.
And I want to really motivate people, inspire people that anything is possible.
Well, thank you for sharing that, Sabine. And Laurie, can you write, or maybe I think Kathy's listening. Can we write what your illness was on our Facebook page? Because I'd like people to understand what we're talking about. And before I let you go, I want to say this in the nicest way. I love the way you said my little arms. I just love I don't know why. I just love the way you said that because it's so. It's so nice. Like it's such a nice way to say that. So thank you for sharing
That
that.
is really
Like
interesting,
I like
Jay. And
that
nobody
stuck in
else,
my head when you said my
yeah,
little arms. I thought that was so.
they are
So
little.
I know, but I just thought it was such a cute way to
Thank you.
describe
Thank
a
you.
disability. You know what I mean? I think
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
wonderful. So thank you so much, Sabine. Laurie,
Jay.
always my pleasure. I have to run, but we'll see you guys later on, and I'll be sharing this. Don't worry. So I'm going to my other meeting, but I'm going to be sharing this show. So thanks again, guys. Have a great
Thank you,
day.
Jay. Good to meet
Okay.
you. Good to meet
Bye bye
you.
now. Bye bye.
Bye.
My goodness, Laurie.
Well, see,
Yes.
we can never plan anything here. This is why I didn't
I
want
guess not.
right?
No.
Well, anyway, you got to do your thing, but we'll expand on that too, while we're together because Jay, he usually pops in on all my
Yeah.
shows. So I have to kind of
Mhm.
work around him because
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
the
yeah.
boss.
Mhm.
He's the boss.
He is the boss. Yeah,
And he has a disability also. It's just not visible on the outside. He was born
yeah.
with a rare form of it's kind of I don't have it correctly. I can't even say the word, but he gets quite sick, and when he does, it's like a really bad case of COVID. And
Oh,
he's
really?
he's had that since he was born. So
Yeah,
he's like you.
interesting.
He didn't let that stop him from doing
No,
anything,
no, no,
and
no.
he works around it. But
Yeah.
I think we're all disabled, really, on some level, because it's not just some is
It's,
not as obvious
yeah,
as others.
yeah, no. But in certain ways we are, and some of it is very obvious. In my case, my stroke is fortunately not anymore visible. I mean, I used to walk with a limp, and my
Mhm,
face was all, how it sometimes
mhm,
is. All that is gone now because of very, very hard work, and just time is passing.
mhm.
But yeah,
Yeah.
sometimes you really don't see what, the funniest thing, many, many, many years ago, 20, 30, maybe, I don't know. It was, where was it? I think in Alaska, because I wore a jacket. And usually I put the jacket over my shoulders and the sleeves just hang down. And somebody didn't know that I didn't have arms. And I said, yeah, I have no arms. And that person said to me, oh, you don't look disabled. And I thought,
Wow.
how does somebody look? And that was a long time ago. So, disability awareness is a little bit better. But when you said that we don't always see the disability of people, how is somebody supposed to look as a disabled person? And I thought that was such a bizarre comment, which stuck with me for 20, 30 years, a long, long
Wow.
time. Yeah, yeah.
Well, I
And
think things
that's,
are. I'm sorry.
no, go ahead.
Well, this is just for I'd love your opinion on this. So that was 20 some years ago. And
Yeah.
would you say there's a sort of a stereotype when you say the word disabled, people automatically assume it's a physical disability? Would you say that's right? Or
Absolutely. Yeah, I would think so. Because even when you said Jay is disabled, and then you followed that up with something not as visible, but I thought, oh, is he disabled? Disabled.
yeah,
So I immediately went there, physical disability. I mean, and I know
yeah,
better than that, but it just for that 1 second, it
mhm,
was,
yeah,
and people, I think,
mhm,
expect that. And when I grew up, in the early 60s and 70s, a child with a disability, there was nothing expected from that child.
I know.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, we came so, so, so far. It was just seen as a limitation. And at the very, very best, you could just live a few years. I was not supposed to live till age of 18. That's what they thought at the time. So there were so many limitations put on me. And that's when I learned to say, hey, no, you know what? You tell me I can't. Of course I can't do it. I just have to do it a different way. So I've seen disability awareness change so much. But
Mhm.
even today, we still need to be out there and truly show people it does not mean a limitation. It just means that we do things a different way, but it still gets done.
Yes, exactly. Well, in the what I'm learning, having been associating myself with the Disability Channel,
Yeah.
um, I'm recognizing that I too had my views on what that
Yeah.
looked like. For example, I didn't consider someone, let's say, who was hard of hearing, I didn't see them as being disabled.
Yeah.
But I've been
Yeah.
enlightened because my backup here, and she's here this morning, I think, Kathy Bell, is hearing, has huge hearing loss. And she does all of
Yeah.
you'll be hearing from her because she's the one who sends out our gift to our guests. And
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
but I never perceived that as being disabled. You see, I had that
Yeah.
little
Yeah.
limited
Yeah. Yeah.
view, but
Yeah.
I guess
Yeah.
a disability is something
Mm-hmm.
off the grid, that
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
prevents you from
Mm-hmm.
being normal, whatever that is.
Yeah, 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 yeah. None of us is normal anymore
No,
these days. I think.
no, no.
That's for sure. But yeah, even oh gosh, I'm in my early 60s. I even just briefly for one, hi, Kathy, I'm here. Hi, Kathy. Even I fell into that very few seconds trap. Oh, he's
Yeah,
disabled.
yeah, yeah, right.
Sabine,
And then to
Shoot.
expand it even further, people can be disabled financially. They can be
Oh, yeah,
disabled,
yeah.
right? Nutritionally,
Yeah,
like we could,
absolutely, absolutely.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And it's so true nutritionally. When I see some people who have a challenge in that regard, I'm sometimes thinking, goodness, what a difficult life. I think my life is easier than that because I need my full range of motion. And that's so important. That's like I mentioned earlier. After this, I will go on a quick run, 5, 6 miles with my dog here. And because it's so important for me to keep fit, to keep healthy. I had that wake up call with a stroke. Not that there was anything physiologically, and nobody could ever find why I had a stroke. That's the weird thing. But
Oh,
I had it, and it was a wake up call. I mean, I got my second chance, so I use it as a wake up call to make a difference in people's life. But also, I pay a lot of attention what I eat, what I drink, and how much I exercise, which is 3, 4 times a week. It's not overly crazy like some people who are totally crazy on that one. So it's a normal exercise. So
mhm,
yeah, but yeah, we can be challenged in so many ways, and
mhm.
sometimes they're very visible, like in my case. Sometimes they are just not. And who are we to judge? What somebody
Exactly.
else ability is. That's just.
Yeah. Well, let's talk a little bit about your personal life because you were married and you had a
Mhm.
baby and you have
Yeah,
grandchildren. So let's
yeah,
talk about that.
yeah. Oh, that's my favorite
Oh,
subject.
good. Okay.
Yay. Yeah, my son was born in 1983 in October. And, I was a young mother. I was 21 or 22, so that's pretty young. But, it was like, oh, here's the baby. Oh my gosh, what do I do? What do I do now? Because when only have your legs to take care of a baby, that can be a little bit challenging. Yeah, but I adapted again. And I did everything with my feet. I dressed him with my feet because do you remember those little buttons on those little outfits?
Oh,
And like newborn outfits. Oh God, they're so tiny. And little buttons and little snaps. And I changed his diapers. I gave him a bath. I fed him with my feet. I'm not eating with my feet myself. My little arms, I can do that with my little arms eating. But my son, I just fed with my feet. It was just a little bit easier for me. And I carried him in a little baby carrier right here in front of me. And for the first year of his life, he was almost always attached to me, so we really bonded. And now my son Nicola, he is unbelievably so, 40 years old. I don't know where the 40 years went, but he's 40 years old, and he lives right now for the next 2 years in Europe. He's working for NATO, and that's why he's in the Brussels area, Brussels, Belgium. And he's military. That's how he got hooked up with NATO. And I have beautiful, beautiful, beautiful three grandchildren. They're 11, 8, and 5 years old. And they're the joy of my life. And I get to see them this summer. I'm traveling to Europe for 2.5 months. Mostly to Italy, because that's kind of what I call home, although I live here in the United States, of course, permanently. But Italy, I call really my home. And I spend as much time as I possibly can. And then, of course, I visit my family in Belgium. And yeah.
Wow. And I'm
Yeah.
just going to just summarize that a bit, because our Kathy Bell is a little challenged when there's a bit of an accent or whatever. So Sabine was just telling us about how she bathed her son with her feet, and she carried him around in a basket in the front of her, a little carrying thing. And you know what I was thinking, Sabine, when you were talking? I often work with parents and, families, and it amazes me how, if somebody now has a baby or two, how stressed out they are, and they have everything to work with, not just their own body, mind you, which you didn't have in totality, but they have everything: dishwasher, dryer. I remember hanging baby diapers on the clothesline the dead of winter for my baby brother that was coming.
Absolutely. Yeah. I remember that too. We lived in Paris when Nicola was tiny. I had to walk downstairs it was in an apartment building. Not that there was an elevator there. I had to walk downstairs with a clothing basket in my little hands, three flights. That's what flights, and 2 flights down, and then one more flight into the basement. There was the dryer, and no, we didn't have a dryer. Wait a minute, I had to. Yeah, no, forget about the dryer. There was a washing machine in the basement of that apartment building, and that's how I had to do the laundry for a newborn. That's what we did. I don't know. It's like, but I just did it. I just did it my entire life. I have challenged limiting beliefs. Oh, I can't carry the clove basket basically 3 flights down, 2 flights in the, and then one more flight into the dark basement. Oh my God. But hey, I challenged that limiting belief because I thought, how I'm going to do it. And I just say to myself, you can do it. Absolutely. Don't allow anything to hold you back. You got to get the clove down the stairs. You are just going to do it. That's how I did it all my life. And I just took the action needed.
Yeah, exactly. Instead of using it as an excuse not to do something.
No. Yeah. That's I grew up that way. Like I said, I talked very briefly about my big German mother. I mean, not big, but she seems to be big,
Yes.
Typically, like the stereotype of a German woman. She just says, "You are not going to feel sorry about yourself. You are not going to feel." Don't say I can't. Oh my God. Yeah, it never say you can't. And she would get really very upset. I mean, she was the original motivator to really challenge my limiting beliefs and take action, persevere. Just persevere through the challenge.
Right. Well, speaking of persevere, I'm going to put something up here. First of all, I'm going to put your website up, because if
Yes,
people would
please
like to
do.
go in and learn more about you
Yeah.
and connect with you, you can go to Sabine's website, sabinebeckerspeaks.com. And then she started talking about this persevere. So, what is push? Here is the Rebel's Guide to the Power of Push. And what does push mean? What's that stand for?
Okay, so first of all, the Rebel's Guide to the Power of Push. That's my new book. It just came out in January of this year, so I'm particularly really proud of it. And the push in that title is an acronym, and it stands for persevere until success happens. I
Wow.
don't care, if people have a disability. I don't care if they have, whatever challenge. We all have challenges in life. Some people have really big challenge. Some people have the perceived challenges, but even those are still challenges. And I am challenging people to push through whatever your challenges are, persevere until success happens. You don't need to have a disability. You don't need to have had a massive stroke and had to relearn everything again. We can all use and embrace the push mindset. And I came up with the push. I didn't have it all my life. I had the mindset, but there was just no name to my mindset. I just was a mindset, an overcomer. I can overcome anything. But like I said to Jay a little bit earlier here, on May 17, 2012, so how many years ago? 12 years ago, I had that massive, massive stroke while I was driving my car. And my survival was a true miracle. I mean, as close as I do believe in miracles, this was a real miracle because the car was shooting towards the Rio Grande River. Like I said, it happened in New Mexico, happened right there at the bank of the Rio Grande River, and had my friend Tim, who sat in the passenger seat, not grabbed the steering wheel, we would be probably both dead, or I don't know what. But I really believe I received that second chance of life for a reason. And although I had to learn how to walk again, I had to learn how to speak again, I had to learn to do again independent using my left foot for all daily tasks. So that was a steep, steep uphill there for the year. And I remember sitting in that rehabilitation center. I thought, how in the world are you going to get through this, Sabine? And I knew I had a good mindset, but somehow somebody said, oh, you just have to push through it. And so after long,
Oh,
long thinking, yeah, I came up with oh, you know what, it could be an acronym. It was originally to motivate myself because
great, great.
who learns how to walk again at 50, right? Or who learns to speak again at 50 years old? And then I thought, what does it actually take? What does it take? A push mindset. What is this kind of mindset that really overcomes limiting beliefs? And I decided probably the biggest, well, no, I shouldn't say the biggest, number one for me was hope. The mindset of hope, because I have 6 principles in that push mindset, and people can read that much, much more in depth in my book. The first principle of push is hope, because if you don't have hope, you really cannot accomplish anything. And the second one is a positive mindset, because you got to believe that you definitely can accomplish whatever your goal is, whatever your obstacle is in front of you. And then it is reframing. That took a lot of work for me because I had to find ways how to reframe my stroke. Why did I have a stroke? Nobody knew. But then my good friend Tim, he said the weirdest thing to me one day, and that helped me reframing my stroke. One day, when you can walk again, when you can speak again, you will be able to help others how to overcome their own obstacles because you are right now learning all the principles on how to overcome radical uh, obstacle, radical adversity. So reframing that was a tough one. And then you need to find the courage to push actually through. And then it all comes down about to resilience, which is principle number 5. And principle number 6, definitely my favorite, is perseverance. And you just got to persevere at times. And it's that whole mindset, to persevere through challenges, to see that setbacks are most of the time only temporary, that they are natural parts of being alive. And you just have to find the courage to persevere and the resilience, really, to persevere through the difficulties and determination. And again, the positive mindset is a lot of help. Also, because if you just sit there, feel sorry for yourself, that makes them much, much tougher. So those 6 principles are the foundation of my PUSH acronym. And as I said, please buy the book. It is because it's the price of 2 fancy cups of coffee. I don't want to say any, yeah, but 2 fancy cups of coffee, because there you really can learn more about me. Because Laurie and I, we have 50 minutes, 50, yeah, about 50 minutes time to talk, learn more about me, and learn more about how my experience will help you to push through your own obstacles, because my book is not memoir. It is partly memoir, but it is truly a self-help, what steps to use when you encounter challenges. Because hey, Laurie, you and I, we know it, your listeners, your viewers know it, we all have adversity in our lives, and I give very definite and actionable steps how to overcome challenges.
Beautiful. Now, where can we get the book? Amazon?
Yes, absolutely. On Amazon, you can type my name in, Sabine Becker, or the full title of my book, The Rebel's Guide to the Power of Push, and it will come up. And like I said, it's less than 2 fancy cups of coffee, less than the price. Oh my God, I'll get tangled up. But anyway, buy the book, and you will definitely not only learn more about myself, but more importantly, you will find so many tips on how to overcome your own adversity. And you can also look at the pictures, because pictures speak a thousand words. Jay was so amazed that I'm driving a non-modified car. He wants a video of that, which I have on YouTube, by the way.
good.
By the way, go on YouTube. Go on YouTube.
Okay.
There you will see all kinds of different things. I have, I don't know, 50 videos, I think.
Do
But
you?
I think, yeah, I really do. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
Great.
I haven't been very active lately because I was busy writing the book. But there are a lot of videos, and people, the one which gets the top views is how I drive my non-modified car.
Beautiful.
And I'm really proud to say that in 40 years of driving, I never had one accident, even on that dreadful day of May 17, 2012. I did not crash the car because Tim was able to pull it away, from the guardrail in the
Mhm.
Rio Grande River. So even then, I didn't crash my car. So accident free for 40 years, and whoop whoop, and knock on wood, right?
Right on. Do we just search Sabine Becker when we go to YouTube?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes, Sabine Becker. This should
Okay.
come up. Yeah, definitely,
Well, I
absolutely.
know who will be watching that probably till midnight tonight. Jay will, when he hears this and he finds this out, he's going to go there and he'll be up until all hours of the night. He's going to watch them all.
Well, bless his heart.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it is just an example how people can overcome incredible things. That we don't need to be limited by perceptions of others. Definitely
That's
not.
right.
That's
Right.
I in my life of 60 plus years, I've heard comments, well, you can't do that. Excuse me. What
Yeah.
did you just say? And then I
Yeah.
really get like, come on, your face. Yeah. No,
Well, and I
because
always,
we
yeah.
can do so many
Oh,
things.
yeah. And I always tell my clients too, you know what? It's okay for other people to give up on you. Like, that's okay.
Yeah. Oh,
But don't
okay.
you
Yeah,
give
yeah.
up on you ever.
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. I'm always okay. If some things work, that's good. And some things in life will not work. When we look at the things which do not work, then we have to make adjustments, but
Right.
not give up. That
That's right.
is, no, we cannot give up on ourselves. We cannot give up on our dreams. We just have to make adjustments. And if that doesn't work, we make other adjustments. And I've learned that through a lifetime of challenges, obviously. I mean, my life is not that easy, but I'm making adjustments almost on a daily basis. And I like what you said. Don't give up on yourself, even though others might have given up, because I had that with the marathon. A very close friend of mine. It's funny, and she knows what I'm capable of. She said to me before, like maybe a couple of months before. I mean, I was training for the marathon for a year, but a couple of months before, she said, "Sabine, are you sure you can do that? Because have you ever seen how people come in after half a marathon? They look half dead." I say, "I don't care. I'm training, and I know I can do it." So, needless to say, this person is not in my life anymore because I didn't get the support I was hoping to get. Instead, I got, well, you know how they look like when they come in after half a marathon.
Yeah, right.
You gotta be selective. I think that's the beauty of being a little bit more mature.
Mhm.
I I see people in my life, and sometimes they just I don't know, if they're not helpful. Not helpful is a pejorative. Supportive, then maybe I'm not going to spend as much time with them anymore, although they're delightful people. But I really need to surround myself with very supportive people, and I think we all need to do that and not listen to negativity. And that's what I start seeing now in my
Mhm.
being in my early 60s.
Hey, listen, girl, I'll be 75 in July. Get some
Well,
time in.
well, okay, okay. Makes me look really young. I love it. Gosh, Laurie, I swear, you certainly don't look 75. I don't know how somebody's supposed to look like with that. But I mean, young lady, I don't know what you're drinking out of, but whatever, well, you're drinking out.
Well, somebody asked me, and this is a little off color, but I don't mind. Somebody asked me a couple of weeks ago, well, so like, what's your secret? And I said,
Yeah.
great sex, copious amounts of wine, and a sense of humor.
I think they all help along. It's absolutely true.
And
And,
they said, no,
and
seriously,
enjoy
what?
what you're doing, you
Yeah,
know? enjoy what you're doing. And I
absolutely.
think that's,
Yeah.
and also I think what motivates me a lot, especially now that I have beautiful grandchildren, to leave a
Oh,
legacy. Yeah,
yes.
I think that's very important. The legacy we leave, and I talk a lot about that too in my book, The Rebel's Guide to the Power of Push, and that really motivates me a lot. The legacy I want to leave behind.
Absolutely. Well, that's where we're going to end because our hour
Yeah,
is up. Is
yeah.
that not the fastest hour of the week?
Yeah, yeah. I'm always thinking 1 hour. Oh my god!
An hour.
And then
Oh
it
my
goes
God.
by 5 minutes. Damn, it's done.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Sabine, for joining us, and we'll have you back.
Absolutely.
That's for sure, because
Yeah.
there's more stories. I know that. And you've
Yeah.
been listening to the Today Show. I'm your host, Dr. Laurie Davis, and we will be back tomorrow with Dr. Amin Modiri, who is our finance man. And this is the guy, he lives in Rancho Santa Margarita. So that's, where that is. Anyway, Ramin, he and I have been friends now for about 3 years. And when I found out that he has actually every credential, every financial designation that you can actually get in the United States of America, and he's
Dang.
been working
Wow.
in finance for 40 years. This is our guy. He's my business partner now. And so every Tuesday we do a show, and he makes finance so fun and so easy to understand. And so that's our show tomorrow. So we broadcast live every day of the week. Monday is self-care, self-empowerment. Perfect guest for that today, wouldn't you say? And Tuesdays is finance. Wednesday, wellness. Sabine could be on the wellness show too. It's very overlapping here. Thursday is special groups, the disabled community, our indigenous community, the veterans community. And this coming Thursday, we're actually having a panel of veterans to celebrate the 80th anniversary of D-Day. And on Friday, anything's up for grabs. It's Fun Friday. We have artists, musicians, single moms making a difference, whoever is out there. So also we streamed live today on Laurie Davis, Facebook, YouTube, Laurie Davis show host. Also streaming live on Self-Worth the Missing Link Superstars Facebook page and the Disability Channel Facebook page. So you can go in there and see the show. We're there right now. And that's where you can go in and share the show. And that's the only thing we ask from our viewers is that they go in and share, share, share. Because this is where one thing that Sabine said today could be the page turner for somebody out there. One thing. So share. Don't click. I make fun of my clients. I go, don't click like. It doesn't take any more energy to click share. So why are you liking it? We don't care if you like it.
Leave comments,
Yes.
because I would like to know what was the one thing which you got out of this, huh?
That's correct. What's the one thing that you heard that was a game changer for you? Good idea. Thank you, Sabine. I didn't think to ask that before, so I will from now on. All right. Well, let's say goodbye and we'll end our show. And if you hang in for a minute or two after, that would be great.
Yeah,
Okay.
sure.
So